say, like, what's at the heart of the sort of, like, why is the Democrat propaganda machine so fired up to destroy me? That's the main reason. The main reason is that entitlements fraud. That includes like Social Security, disability, Medicaid. Entitlements fraud for illegal aliens is what is serving as a gigantic magnetic force to pull people in from all around the world and keep them here. Like basically, if you pay people at a standard of living that is above 90% of Earth, then you have a very powerful incentive for 90% of Earth to come here and to stay here. But if you end the illegal alien fraud, then you turn off that magnet, and they leave, and they stop coming, and the ones that are here, many of them will simply leave. And if that happens, they will lose a massive number of Democratic voters.
And if it didn't happen, they would turn those people into voters.
Correct.
Which they were trying to do.
They're already turning them. So in New York State, illegal aliens can already vote in state and city elections. A lot of people don't know that. They're trying to fight that, and they're trying to stop that, but they're currently, I think it's like 600,000 are registered to vote, illegal aliens in New York.
That is wild.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at, say, FEMA, like the agency that was paying for illegal aliens to stay at luxury hotels in New York was FEMA. That's an agency that's meant to support Americans in distress from natural disasters, was paying for luxury hotels for illegals in New York.
It's true. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Fact.
They're literally, like, when we stopped that payment, we stopped all those money, because that's obviously an insane way to spend taxpayer money. New York sued the federal government to get the money. So you can just look at their lawsuit. They were sending that money even after President Trump signed an executive order saying it needs to stop. They still pressed send on $80 million to luxury hotels in New York. Your tax money went to pay for illegal aliens in luxury hotels in New York from an agency that is meant to help Americans in distress from natural disasters.
Right, and I would like to know how
up.
much. And I would like to know how much they spent on North Carolina and how much they spent on Maui.
Yes, exactly. What's actually happening is they're buying voters. That's really what's happening. It's like a giant voter fraud scam. They're importing voters, and it's really just a matter of time. So, like, if a lot of people have trouble believing this, but the more you look at it, the more you will realize just how much of a problem this is, and how it's not just real. It is an attempt to destroy democracy in America. That's what, in my view, it is what it really is. Like, if you take the sort of 7 swing states, like, often the margin of victory there is like maybe 20,000 votes. If you put 200,000 illegals in there, and they have like a 80% likelihood of voting Dem, and it's only a matter of time before they become citizens, then those swing states will not be swing states in the future. And if they are not swing states, we'll be a permanent one-party state country. Permanent, deep blue socialist state. That's what America will become.
And that was the game plan.
That was the game plan. That is still the game plan. And so they almost succeeded. If the machine of which the Kamala puppet was the representation had won, that's what would have happened. The reason I went so hardcore for Trump was because, to me, this was a fork in the road, a very obvious fork in the road. If they had another 4 years, they would legalize enough illegals in the swing states to make the swing states not swing states. They would be blue states. Then they would win the presidential. They'd win the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They would then make district, D.C. into a state, maybe Puerto Rico, get 4 extra senators, pack the Supreme Court. So then you'll have the House, Judiciary, Senate, and presidency, all blue. And then they will keep importing more illegals to cement that outcome. Basically what happened in California.
Jesus Christ.
It would have been the end. That's why I went so hardcore for Trump. It was otherwise been the end. And that's why the Democrat machine is so intent on destroying me.
It's just so fascinating that people can't see this.
I mean, I invite people to do their research. The more they do their research, the more they will see that what I'm saying is absolutely true.
There are so many people deceived about what is actually happening with Doge and what Elon, under this administration, is trying to do for our benefit. Because he doesn't need to do this. He don't need this type of pressure. He can just live as a private citizen and enjoy his wealth. And if you watch that and you're tempted to say, well, he's lying, the truth of the matter is we already saw this playbook play out with the African American community. Every election cycle, you see this fear-mongering of they're going to cut Social Security, they're going to cut Medicaid, they're going to cut welfare. Up until recently, 90% of the Black community voted Democrat. So when they were dancing and singing their Negro spirituals, this is what they were attempting to distract us from seeing. You see, there once was a time where Democrat leaders actually agreed with Trump when it came to illegal immigration.
Workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable, especially those who may be dangerous. That's why over the past 6 years, deportations of criminals are up 80%.
What we need to do simultaneously, secure our borders with technology, personnel, physical barriers if necessary in some places, and we need to have tougher employer sanctions, and we need to try to incentivize Mexico to do more. If they've committed transgressions of whatever kind, they should be obviously deported.
That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens.
Now, I am all for people changing their minds, right? I am all for people having a come to Jesus moment. You know what? I had it wrong. I had those moments plenty of times, okay? That is actually why I'm making the content that I'm making now, because trust me, I was on the other side of the political fence. But a change of mind or a change of heart should lead you to a better decision. You should not be regressing. You should be progressing. And that is what happened to the Democrat Party. Interestingly, many of them call themselves progressive. They are straying further and further away from common sense and attempting to use experts and degree holders and scholars and so-called economists to make us feel dumb for not agreeing with their foolishness. Elon told us the play, and it's a play that we've seen before and we see every election cycle. It's the play of using welfare, Social Security, Medicaid to make people become dependents and then make those dependents voters. Only this time they decided to use foreigners as their political pawns to retain power at the expense of our stability. But God blocked it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. If you haven't already gotten a copy of my book, Essays of a Young Melanated Christian Conservative Woman, where I expose how Black Americans are being exploited for political gain, get your copy today. The link is in the description. Oh yeah, like, subscribe, and share. The share part. Share.